Check 1, 2, and 3. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. Let's go. Four questions need to be asked right now. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. Thank you for being part of this episode. Let's go. Shout out to you, Alex. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. Shout out to you, David. Good morning to you. Appreciate everybody who understand that it takes time. It absolutely takes time to build this plane or spaceship. Tell everybody, hit that notification bell, jump right on in. The name, Law Nation. Yep. Let's go. Keeping everything consistent, right? Appreciate you for jumping in, for real, really do. All right, Cowboy Nation. For those who've been following this channel for a long time, we already know the off season is long. And of course, some people are still angry here and upset. Shout out to you, but it is Friday. It's Friday time, baby. It's Friday time for your mind, huh? So, Cowboy Nation, as we begin to proceed to give you what you need, the information is out, let's go with it.
Hello, Law Nation. 4 questions nobody is asking about the Dallas Cowboys right now.
Well, what are the 4 questions there? One is this right here. When we think about it, it's a situation. What are the 4 questions?
Has CeeDee Lamb been a disappointment so far?
Can you repeat that?
Has CeeDee Lamb been a disappointment so far?
No, CeeDee Lamb. I look at it like this with CeeDee Lamb. His ability to play anywhere as it relates to the wide receiver play, inside or outside. I believe that CeeDee Lamb is the type of guy that what we've seen going into his second year, still producing over 1,000 yards, right? And in certain situations, being able to be converted as the number 1 receiver at times because of the lack of production from the other receiver, and then kicked out on the outside and only running a limited amount of routes. I think that that's the situation. So I don't think that CeeDee Lamb is an issue. Now, 2 things. Dak Prescott, should he play better with CeeDee Lamb out there on the field? Yeah, that's a given. Oh, the play calling design, when you only running a certain limited amount of routes, yes, the scheme is a major part of it. So I think that collectively speaking, the Cowboys made the wise choice of drafting CeeDee Lamb, right? Because the highest defensive player on the board was Chason at the time. I don't think that Chason, K'Lavon Chason, is doing things as it relates to what CeeDee Lamb is bringing, as it relates to also the level of production that he's bringing to the table. So my answer to that, Cowboy Nation and everybody that's listening, yeah, CeeDee Lamb did his deal. I think that he did a wonderful job for what he is doing with the Dallas Cowboys. Let me know if you guys are thinking something else. Shout out to you, Peter. Appreciate you. So I look at it like that. And shout out to Blogging the Boys, man. This is where these questionings are coming from. Let's see what we have right here. And great article. And we'll listen to 105.3 The Fan as well with that information. But the other question here, let's see what we got here. The AI speak. Whenever she decides to
What
speak.
if Dak Prescott is now permanently who he was over the second half of last season?
Oh, okay.
What if Dak Prescott is now permanently who he was over the second half of last season?
Oh, there's two of y'all now. Okay. I don't think that Dak Prescott is permanently with what we think we've seen in the last second half of the season. The staring down the receivers, looking at Dak Prescott not playing up to par, getting bullied out there as relates to the coverages, them picking up what the offense were doing. Remember that how the Arizona Cardinals picked up everything and jumping off on the edge there. I just don't think that that's Dak Prescott. I could be 1,000,000% wrong, Cowboy Nation, which I'm not saying that I'm always right. I could be 1,000,000% wrong. But if that what we seen out of Dak Prescott, why did he didn't show us that when it was time for him to get paid then, right? So I just don't think that that's Dak Prescott, huh? Do you guys agree or disagree? Let me know in the chat. Let's keep it open and honest, Yeah, let me keep it open and honest with all of you guys. Let's see. I don't think that that's Dak Prescott. In my opinion, I don't think that that's him. Say what we have here. What was the other question? You can read that one out. The AI. Can you read that one for me? I feel what y'all saying. I feel what you're saying. Let's see what they say.
Would not cutting Anthony Brown indicate a lack of belief in Kelvin Joseph?
Huh? Say that again?
Would not cutting Anthony Brown indicate a lack of belief in Kelvin Joseph?
Y'all crazy. I think that the Cowboys, if you keep Anthony Brown, because only if you cut him, I think he's at the tail end of his particular contract with the Cowboys, and it's only Cowboy Nation. It's only this right here, a $5 million deal. And for what Anthony Brown brought to the table last season, this was his best season. Best season, by the way. I think that you keep Anthony Brown, but you have to have that strong conversation with said Anthony Brown and let him know that, hey, I believe in Kelvin Joseph as well. And you insert Kelvin Joseph back out there in the field and you squeeze Anthony Brown back inside. The real conversation should be Anthony Brown versus Jordan Lewis. Who do you keep as relates to those two boys? I look at it like this. Off season is long. You draft some young talent. Hear me out. You draft some young talent. And you have those guys to battle with Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis inside. You keep Kelvin Joseph on the outside, though. You figure out a way to make that man play on the outside. Shout out to you, Chris Davis. Appreciate you for jumping in. He says some of you fans are clueless. I feel you, man. I understand. Jerry publicly stated that he was annoyed with Amari about the VAC. I feel you, man. And that's part of the issue, too. When you speak out to the public about your issues, everybody can become opinionated of what you said. So that's an issue there for most of the Cowboys organization. Shout out to my guy Skywalker. He was live earlier this morning, and he was talking about why don't the Cowboys get good trade value? Well, the problem is the reason why Cowboys don't get good trade value from their players is because organizations already got a beat or an insight that they know that you're trying to get rid of guy. Why would you sit back and trade for a guy when I know that you're going to get rid of the guy? You can sit back and wait. That's just the bottom line. So I believe that part of the situation is a major problem with the Cowboys organization. That's why we don't get good trade value, by the way. Right? Cowboy Nation. All right, so what was the fourth and final question here? from Blogging the Boys. And let me see if we can get the AI to say this one, Yeah, read it out so everyone can hear.
What if Sean Payton does not actually want to coach the Cowboys in 2023?
Oh, okay. That means you still got contract under. You still got contract under Mike McCarthy. And what everybody is presuming or alluding to is that the Dallas Cowboys, my friend, will have a horrible season for the 2022 season. NFL is pretty much, we don't know. We just don't know. Now, based upon the moves that the LA Rams made, a lot of people were yelling, hey, they going to the Super Bowl, which was a given, right? You went out there, you traded for Matthew Stafford, you went and got some moving pieces as it relates to the running back. When your running back went down, you went and traded for Sonny Michel. You went, of course, the couple of years before, you went and got Jalen Ramsey. He's a staple piece on that defense. And you got Aaron Donald, who been ranked top 1 or 2 best player in the NFL for multiple seasons. So it was already a given that, man, the Rams are going to be good, right? And on top of that, every year, I don't think that even Sean McVay ever went a season less than 500. So that's the reality of it. Kellen Moore will become a head coach if that the case. Is from Pickle Rick. Appreciate you, Pickle Rick. Spitting the truth on that. So that was Blogging the Boys. 4 questions there, and I'm going to put this out here so that everybody can go to their respective websites. Yeah, go to their respective website here.
But there's some interesting creative stories out there. And the most interesting article I read today, I think, was this blog from Blogging the Boys here with Dallas Cowboys right now.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Now, is it questions that should be asked, or it's just four that no one's asking? Like, will Jerry sell the team?
Yeah, maybe there could have been another part of that headline. I don't know. Decide for yourself if it's even a worthy question, and if so, how would you answer it here? Maybe this will turn into a media watchdog of Mr. Ocho.
I'm down for that.
Baby.
We can do that.
Okay. Has CeeDee Lamb been a disappointment so far? Question number 1.
I will say CeeDee Lamb is sitting comfortably in the area where he has not overachieved, nor has he underachieved. Like, I think he had a relatively quiet 1,100 and whatever yard season that he just had in a year where we.
All right, Cowboy Nation. This is what I just went over, and I realized that even 105.3, the fan, went over the same talk track here. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to them, and then as well as we're going to play the audio, of course, of what I just said, so we can see what they say different from me, and then and we'll see how things go from here. Appreciate you, Jay Versick. Appreciate you, man. He says he really enjoyed the debate there. I really appreciate you on that one. Let me see what Jay Versick. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you so much, man. Yeah. Come on, let's go with it.
Talk about how they really struggled to get the ball to their wide receivers. Man, if they didn't struggle, was he going to have 1,500? So has he been all?
Enjoyed you and your brother debate on Amari and Troy versus Steve. Hope we get more of this. DC4L.
Most certainly, man. Be sure to check out my brother podcast, and we're gonna get his page going. The Twin Maker, Twin Empire. He got 2 sets of twins. That's why he called himself the Twin Maker. And we'll be doing a show once a week. We try to figure out a day, Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to let you guys pick which day is best for us to do that show. Wednesday or Thursday is the time we have free time. through the week, and then when the season kick off, we would do some more shows together. But let me know if you guys like my brother on the show, and we will be having some beard products that's coming out soon. So yeah, he got 2 sets of twins, by the way, 2 sets of twins, like back to back. And I told him, no more, man. Don't have no more kids now. It's going to be another set of twins. I said, man, dog, you accurate. You too accurate. 2 sets of twins, and they about, I think, 3 years apart. So you can only imagine the family photo there. Yeah.
All that I dreamed of? No. But is he a disappointment in any way? No. I think he's sitting right.
No, I'm about almost 5 years older than my brother, so it's like four and a half years older than my brother. But he do kind of favor me a little bit, right? Just a little bit. Appreciate my brother though. Shout out to him.
Right in the middle.
Is it more on him or
100? Quiet 1,100 and whatever yard season that he just had in a year where we talk about how they really struggled to get the ball to their wide receivers. Man, if they didn't struggle, was he going to have 1,500? So has he been all that I dreamed of? No.
Wednesday,
but
Thursday.
Is he a disappointment in any way? No. I think he's sitting right in the middle.
Is it more on him or his quarterback? He missed the quarterback his first half of the year.
Yeah.
And then the second year, the quarterback wasn't as accurate as he needed to be, right?
That's
to
part of it.
Him, or they couldn't.
Him
put it this
dropping
way, they couldn't get him the ball.
Him dropping some balls is part of it.
Yep.
And also, I saw our buddy David Hellman at DallasCowboys.com put out something about the Cowboys penalties this year, and how like a number of them was worth this many yards and killed this many drives, and the number was pretty big. And I can remember some of them where if there weren't penalties, I bet CeeDee has 4 more catches for 80 more yards.
Yeah, he's about right. Shout out to Jeff Kavanaugh for that explanation there. The Cowboys was most penalized team in the National Football League last season, and since 1996, they are the most penalized team, period, since 1996. Now, I'm not finna sit here and draw up conclusions that the Cowboys are being hosed only by the aficionados. There's some things got to go with coaching, right? And it's hard to beat multiple teams on a Sunday or a Monday night, but at the end of the day, no one remembers the penalties, right? They only gonna look at the outcome, and the outcome that we want is a victory, right? Because you can have an egregious penalty and still win the game, and it get washed out. I just believe that the coaching staff need to empower this right here, this mindset. Cowboys versus the world. Cowboys versus the world. That's what they need to establish, because you can't be looking for it. And, of course, it do hurt us. Penalties do. 15 holding penalties on Connor Williams. Newsflash. He didn't play every game this season. Some of those plays, big chunk plays, that we see and we say, yes. And then we look back, there's laundry on the field. Those things are not the way you're supposed to play the game. Now, granted, holding penalties are one thing, but false start and offsides, that's on the Cowboys there. So they need to look into all of that and figure things out the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's a 1,200 and something yard receiver. Yeah. So has he been the playing above the rim, spectacular catch, holy cow, look at him go that I thought he could become? No, not yet. But has he been a disappointment? No.
I think he should have been so productive by now that all those things wouldn't have mattered. You know, I think he's really been a victim of circumstances.
I think that's a big part of it right now. I think the talent's there. Clearly the talent's there. I really do like what Jeff did with the player, though, when he put him in that in-between. And it's not riding the fence. It's just
1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns is a good number 2 receiver.
No, but you know what, coming out, though.
Yeah. I thought he could overtake Amari Cooper by now.
That is the number 1 receiver on my board. And we had one of the great moments when he was drafted.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm trying to kind of think about the great moments that we've had with CeeDee Lamb, maybe the Minnesota catch, you know, and that
was an incredible catch.
Stuff
too.
like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're kind of thinking like, you know, man, look at what Justin Jefferson's doing. Look what, you know, and,
yeah.
you know, there
could be more for sure.
Yeah, could be a lot more for sure.
Now, what I don't want people to do is discount Justin Jefferson. Yeah, he's a good wide receiver for what he's doing, but let's not discount CeeDee Lamb. Let's not look. Justin Jefferson. Yes, he got some good records, right? And yes, he's a good wide receiver in their particular system. Yeah, the Patriots catch was awesome, Sam. Yeah, it was really awesome. It was really awesome. Justin Jefferson don't have to live up to be Randy Moss over there in Minnesota land, right? They didn't force Justin Jefferson. Hey, man, we like you, man. Let's put 84 on you, right? And we want you to beat all of Randy Moss records. And what's the other wide receiver? His name at the tip of my tongue. He's no one to sneeze at as well. But a lot of people just discounting old boy over there. What's old guy named the opposite side of him? The wide receiver. Y'all help me out. His name is the tip of my tongue. Catch pretty good too. And he was the number one wide receiver. But Justin Jefferson came in and just took over. Thielen. Yeah, Adam Thielen. Yeah. Appreciate you, Sam and Choctaw and Dallas Cowboys for life. Let's not discount Adam Thielen, too. People looking at Adam like he's some chopped liver over there. I think he led that team in touchdowns or something like that. So let's not discount that at all. And the level of pressure that you put on when you put the silver and blue on. And I'm not trying to say that that's an excuse, right? That you should play less or better because of the pressure in the spotlight. Let's be real. Right now in the Vikings organization, they don't have that type of media attention and scrutiny, whether or not you catches the ball or not. And think about this. We got a whole club over here, 88 Club, right? Dez Bryant. Michael, the playmaker, Irvin. They leave Antonio Brown out of it. He wore 88 over here. Who remember him, right? And they leave out that tight end that one year he wore 88. But we all know, Drew and Michael and the media will always bring up the 88 Club.
You get to keep Dak your rookie year. You'd be over 1,000 yards, so you would have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons to start a career where you're not even the team's first choice.
Maybe the bar was too high from my standpoint about him.
Our fault.
Yep.
All righty, 214. It's difficult to show it as a wide receiver unless the QB targets them well consistently, and Dak hasn't done that.
And let me see what his kind of conversion is. Like when he's targeted, how often is that a completion? So CeeDee catches 66% of targets.
Right.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's a great number.
That's doing pretty good.
Yep.
Okay, 214. He's never going to be a spectacular catch wide receiver. He does get open. That's his bread and butter.
I disagree with that.
Wait a minute. CeeDee do catch the spectacular balls, though. When those games Dak Prescott is throwing it to the man on the moon, we do see CeeDee Lamb climb the ladder and pull that ball up out of the air. Now, Lamb, I had this debate with my brother yesterday, late last night. And I was talking about the utilizations of CeeDee Lamb. Deebo is a remarkable wide receiver for the 49ers. Everybody loved Deebo, right? He only had 3 targets when he played against the Cowboys in that last game. 3 targets as a wide receiver. Right? That's not enough. But they utilized him in such a way that it didn't felt like he only was targeted 3 times. Right? Now, one can argue that Deebo, his route running, is not the best. It's not the purest route runner out there. No. He's not the best of the best. He rounds his routes. You can see where he's going with his routes. But you got to have an offensive coordinator that understands your talent. Deebo locked up with my guy Trayvon Diggs on a route situation, just on purely a route situation. Trayvon Diggs will win 9 times out of 10. And guess what? Even Deebo knows that. But the 49ers figured out, okay, let me use him to his strength. Oh, Deebo drop rate. He drops the ball many of times. He don't have the purest of the hands. But there's nobody in this chat room right now that would say, Deebo is trash. Why? Because he's being used to his full capacity. If you go back to OU tape and you look at CeeDee Lamb, they lined him up majority of the time inside the slot. They also motioned him on the outside. They created space for him in the open field. They threw the ball behind the LOS so they can keep him running in space. CeeDee Lamb is literally a weapon, Cowboy Nation. Literally. And the argument was, would you move on from Amari Cooper and then just bring in somebody that's more usable for Kellen Moore's system, since he don't know how to use Amari Cooper with CeeDee Lamb. That's the argument, right? That was the argument. And I was saying, like, nah, dog. I was looking into it like, hey, the offensive coordinator, shoot, you got Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. You need to figure out how to use that. But when you don't know how to use a certain weapon, if you don't know how to drive the high-tech car, the Ferrari, the Aston Martin, or somebody say, hey, I got a free car. And some of y'all fellas out here, somebody give you a free car and you realize it's a stick shift and you can't even drive it up a hill because you never knew how to drive a stick. We got some people right now that's listening right now that if I were to give you a stick shift, it don't matter, car paid off and everything, you'd be like, man, can I get an automatic? Because I don't know how to drive the manual shift. I can't climb a hill. I don't know when to switch inside my gears. I burn out the clutch. That's technically what's going on with Kellen Moore. Fancy car, too fancy. It's not an automatic. I can't deal with it. I would step down from this car and just get a Echo in a Kia. You know what I'm saying? And that's his comfort zone. But there's nobody that would sit here and say, I'm only going to use CeeDee Lamb in this way. No. If CeeDee Lamb were to be on the 49ers with, let's say, Deebo, people would be saying the man is unfair. It's flat out unfair. I digress.
CeeDee Lamb, he makes spectacular catches.
Yeah,
I mean,
that Minnesota one, that one, corner end zone, was one of the best I've ever seen.
It wasn't Des Bryant level, but you would have a whoa moment at every training camp practice.
Yeah.
And it was CeeDee Lamb.
Most and every
often.
OU game.
Yeah, and every OU game. He can
not to put one against the other. Real talk. All my Des Bryant fans out there and CeeDee Lamb fans. Who got better hands? I want to know, who got better hands, bro? Who got better hands, CeeDee Lamb or Dez? Who got the better hands? I want to know who got better hands, baby. I really want to know. Who do y'all believe? I ain't talking about overall production or what have you. I'm just talking about the hands.
He can absolutely make spectacular catches. What I need him to do is, I guess, maybe have some more opportunities at those sorts of plays and catch the easy ones.
Can I ask a real quick
because
question?
That dude's out there getting lit up on a lot of these catches. He's holding on.
He is.
Yeah.
More disappointed in him or what you thought what Amari Cooper might be?
This year, Cooper. Yeah, I mean, this year, Cooper had some big games. But again, it goes into there's more to it. Like, show me them both being targeted 140 times in similar spots, and we can kind of grade that.
Yeah.
Because I would say that today, Amari is still the best receiver on the team. and it's probably pretty close.
And they're talking about walking him.
Yeah, but I do think that CeeDee, I mean, you can just look at the numbers, had the more productive year.
Yeah, I think for me,
How did our play calling change that bad from the first half of the season to the second? Was his DC's catching on to Kellen plays?
Repeat that one more time.
How did our play calling change that bad from the first half of the season to the second? Was his DC's catching on to Kellen plays?
The AI, shout out to you, Jay Versick. Ooh. I'm thinking. So don't come at me, Cowboy Nation. I think that blueprint stuff was real. The name of the game is make a team one-dimensional. Right? Most teams look at it and say, hey, we want to stop the run and force team to pass. That's most teams, believe it or not. Oh, the Cowboys just don't run. It's all a ploy, right? Their running game was just a ploy. The secret sauce was throwing the ball. Now, I get it. You know, do quarterback have total domain over like the play quality of the run? Like, can that quarterback look at the coverages and say, all right, we got 6 DBs out here regardless. I'm going to go ahead and quote unquote run this ball. That could be the situation. But I'm looking at the types of run plays that the Cowboys ran. It didn't get the opposing teams, because running plays, you got to be disciplined, right? You got to say to yourself, even though I'm getting only a certain amount of plays, I'm still going to do this regardless. I don't care who's saying this or who's saying that. Let me see if I can pull this up right quick. Here we go. I think I got it somewhere right here. Bear with me. It's my TikTok. Shout out to those who follow me on TikTok. I got it somewhere right here. Yeah, here it is, way right here.
Plays, all right?
Hey, we gotta run the ball. Six down
Let
there.
me pass, block.
Can we not run the
We'll run the ball.
Can we run it down there?
Just play
We
center.
run it down
Yeah,
there.
All right, so case in point. Let me see if I can make it bigger for y'all. You can't see it that way. Okay, you can see it that way. Okay, good. This was an argument. Jeff Satter, the center, versus my guy, Peyton Manning. And Peyton was mad because he kept changing the plays. And it was about the number system. But he said when it's pass block, you block. Quit changing the plays. Because Jeff was saying, look, we got to change it into a run suit because of the numbers. But Peyton was mad. It could be another 50 years. I don't think that Dak Prescott would ever talk to another human being like the way Peyton Manning just talked to Jeff, right? These two Hall of Famers, by the way, I believe, right? Jeff is in the Hall of Fame, right? You guys help me out. But neither here nor there. If he is, shout out to him. If not, then I apologize. But Jeff was a damn good offensive lineman. But listen to this exchange once again. Listen.
We're calling the plays, all right?
Hey, we gotta run the ball. Six down there.
Let me pass, block.
Can we not run the
We'll run the ball.
Can we run it down there?
Just play
We
center.
run it down
Yeah,
there.
We're calling the plays, all right?
Hey, we gotta run the ball. Six down
Let
there.
me pass, block.
Can we not run the
We'll run the ball.
Can we run it down there?
Just play
We
center.
run it down
Yeah,
there.
He told him just play center, baby. You know? So that's the situation there. And I believe that the Dallas Cowboys, with the situation that we see with the offense being stagnant the way it is, in my opinion, this is just my thoughts, not no one else's. Nah, goodness, come on, 1987. Come on, CeeDee is not overrated. But just in my thoughts, in my opinion, that I believe that Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott, that relations is just too close. One don't push the other and one don't chastise the other. They two good buddies, in my opinion.
Let me ask, did the front office really think Coop would eat off drags and comeback routes off 5 to 6 targets minimum? That's not utilizing him correctly. Let me ask, did the front office really think Coop would eat off drags and comeback routes off 5 to 6 targets minimum? That's not utilizing him correctly.
My point exactly. If the 49ers went into that game plan against the Dallas Cowboys with only 3 targets to Deebo Samuels, we win that game. We win that game. If the value of how people perceive Deebo Samuels, because people will literally say Deebo Samuels is a better wide receiver than Amari Cooper. People will literally say that. Everybody will say that, right now, especially because you're looking at the highlights, you look at the tape. But not even Deebo would say, yeah, Amari Cooper is better than me, right? Right. He would say, man, Amari Cooper is better than me. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to say is, if the 49ers only use Deebo as a wide receiver, then we would look at his value differently. And what the Cowboys done is what, let the AI say it one more time.
Let me ask, did the front office really think Coop would eat off drags and comeback routes off 5 to 6 targets minimum? That's not utilizing him correctly.
That's not utilizing him correctly. For example, if I just pick up Deebo Samuels and I put him in the Dallas Cowboys system, and I pick up, hear me out, CeeDee Lamb, and I put him in the 49ers system, people will be looking at CeeDee Lamb differently. People will be looking at, hear me out, Deebo differently. Because you would have seen the 3 targets per game, and you would see, man, this dude's good after the catch. He's big. And there'll be tons of people hitting the desk. Can we make him a tight end? Yeah, but I get it. He can be a shorter tight end. There will be literally people saying, oh, what a wasteful draft pick for Deebo Samuels. He's trash. He's not on Justin Jefferson level, nor he's on CeeDee Lamb level. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Don't matter who the quarterback is, Cowboy Nation. It's a scheme situation. A scheme. I digress. Let's listen to this more of this audio.
CeeDee has been a little bit more of a disappointment, but maybe my expectations were too high. I think Amari Cooper has played at a higher level and just wasn't targeted as much. I don't know what happened there, why the defense was able to take him away a little bit more. But I think that's a really good question. Neither one of them has lived up to expectations. 469 says too many drops. Maybe, but you could nitpick the drops or the route running specifics that were talked about during this season. But I think all of that goes away if you could run the ball and force them to defend you with balance. And then CeeDee Lamb would have so many stats that all this little stuff wouldn't matter as much. Right. You're still bringing in 66% of the passes. That is at least league average. What if Dak is now permanently what he was in the second half of the season? That is question number 2 here on Blogging the Boys.
Then you'll probably 2 years from now be looking for an escape hatch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If Dak Prescott is that same guy that we've seen in the second half of the season, my goodness, it will be a situation and a scenario that we will be sitting here saying, Yeah, we spent too much money on Dak Prescott, right? All right, just as a, you know, let me see, make sure I got my homework right. My point exactly, baby. Ooh, my point exactly. Before we move off into that conversational piece, who had more drops in 2021? God dog, man, this stuff is too good. It's too good. Oh, it's too good, baby. I should have brought this up to my brother last night. And we know that CeeDee missed a few games, right? Who had more targets? CeeDee Lamb or Deebo Samuels? Who had more targets? CeeDee Lamb or Deebo Samuels? I want to know what y'all gonna say, baby. CeeDee, Deebo. All right, so CeeDee Lamb was targeted 120 times. Deebo Samuels was targeted 121 times. Okay? Pretty much, Cowboy Nation and everybody that's listening, one can argue that that's similar. That's same, pretty much. With that information, that beta information, target levels were same. CeeDee Lamb caught, I believe, 79 receptions out of 120 targets. Deebo caught 77 receptions. Now, this is the nail biter. Who had more drops, CeeDee Lamb or Deebo Samuels? Who had more drops? Because they say CeeDee, he drops the ball. Choctaw says CeeDee. All right. Come on, I don't want you guys to be looking up, the Twitter fingers in the Google Maps and everything. So let me pull this up for law. Who had more drops? All right, let me get to the point there. CeeDee had 7 drops for the 2021 season. Deebo Samuels had 12 drops, and not just 12 drops for the season. He had 4 fumbles included into the 12 drops. And that's likely so because of how he hold the ball for one. And then on top of that, he ran the ball more. I think he had over 400 yards rushing. But what I'm trying to bring home is that you got the same kind and caliber of receiver. And I know Deebo is a whole lot bigger than my guy, CeeDee Lamb. He's bigger. He's bigger by 10 to 12 pounds bigger, but of pure muscles, right? He's just muscly bigger. He's not fatter, by the way. Same height, by the way, but he's just bigger. Bodybuilder, what have you. But what I'm saying is that if you only use Deebo as the flat out wide receiver, then you will have the same impressions or the mindset that this is what he is. He's a guy that can run some routes. He rounds his routes. He drops the ball. You will be saying, man, can I get somebody else? Yeah, Yarber says Deebo had way more touches. So what I'm trying to allude to, if you use CeeDee Lamb in a different light. CeeDee Lamb, when running the ball, he averaged 7.2 yards per rush. So, yeah. 7.2. Now, Deebo, and like I said, CeeDee is a little bit thinner. But what I can tell you that what CeeDee holds over Deebo, who is a better route runner, Deebo or CeeDee? CeeDee is a better route runner. That's all I'm saying. But you got to know how to utilize your strength. You do. And I like Deebo. You know, shoot. When you're coming out of college, shoot, I would love to have Deebo on his team. But in light of who we got now as our OC, he'd have been a waste. He would have been a waste because people have been saying, he's good, but that's not enough.
He had.
Church says a better runner is Deebo. No. I said route runner. Now I ain't talking about yards after catch. Now, a better runner in general, yeah. You know, all right, so we if we were to do like a scale or what have you before the ball, like case in point. Let's go all the way back. Let's moonwalk all the way back into the draft. I know Deebo was drafted way before. He came out a year before my guy Lamb and all of those boys. But we know for sure that Jerry Jeudy is a better release guy than CeeDee Lamb, right? Off his release, man, them Jerry Jeudy feet, nasty. Chop you up. I mean, Jerry Jeudy feet, shoot, like the second coming of Chad Ochocinco, right? Those feet, the feet just nasty. But yards after catch is where Lamb had it over Jerry Jeudy, right? Can anybody debate that? Jerry Jeudy before the catch, brilliant. But after he catches the ball, he looking for a comfortable spot to slide or lay down, right? But that dude, Lamb, he can kill you a little bit, but he's not on the caliber of Jerry Jeudy. But then after the catch, woo! But if we were to put the argument of Deebo Samuels between those three, he's lesser as it relates to off his route, right? But when he gets the ball, he is explosive. And by far, if Deebo learned how to hold the ball better, he's better than most running backs once he got the ball. Right? Can't say CeeDee is trash no matter that the argument. Yeah, I appreciate you, Grim. Yeah, you can't say CeeDee is trash, right? Just bad system. But shout out to all three of those. Look, we in the age of wide receiver play. We got Jerry Jeudy, we got Jalen Waddle. Man, we got all of these wide receivers that Justin Jefferson. You know, we got a lot of Jamar Chase. We got a lot of T. Higgins, you know, tall, pull the ball out of the sky, give God a handshake at the same time. Hey, God, how you doing? How Moses doing? Let me come on down with the ball. I'll talk to you when you call me. Touchdown. You know, that's who he is, T. Higgins. And you saw what he did against Jalen, even though it was face mask, right? But the concentration to pull that ball out of the sky and still thank Moses and Peter, you know, and Paul and everybody else and say, okay, let me run this ball in for the touchdown. That is difficult to do. We're in the age of elite wide receivers. Now, where do Amari Cooper falls into the mix? He may not get the respect on this channel, right, from the fans and people typing in. But if you go poll DBs out there, and if you go poll other wide receivers, they will give Amari Cooper that great deed of respect. They will. Big physical wide receiver and can cut you up off his release. Shoot. But I get it. People will bump their gums and say, he's soft. Like they could put on a helmet and pads and say, okay, let me lace him up. Let me shut down Amari Cooper. Ask Xavier Howard, right? come on, baby. But I get it. Amari Cooper's soft to most people in their notion of what he brings to the table.
Great games in there, but there's a consistency that determines the difference between good and great.
Yeah.
That's what quarterback is.
Yeah.
You can't get 5 yards per attempt in 5 different games
Appreciate
in the
your
last
smooth mix.
2.5 months of the year and be called great.
Deebo, best
So they're
wide
going to have to,
receiver, yeah.
between whether it's schematic, protection,
Yards
being
after
able to
catch.
run the ball, Dak having an offseason to regain some
Deebo
assertiveness
Best,
and
WR
confidence.
Yak Run Catch,
All
Go
those
It
things
All.
are going to
Health
need
maybe too.
health. All
Yeah.
those things are going to need to come together because, if he is that version of him where, hey, he's a good quarterback, but it's wee up, down, then 2 years from now, when it starts getting close to contractually feasible, you'd be looking for a way out.
That's when it's feasible, 24.
Well, and I'd see what happens when they move money around because
It's
they're
on
going
a
to move money
4-year
around
deal,
again.
right?
And
Yeah.
he's already got like $20 million of dead money in 2025 or 6 on a void year. So this is going to be a contract that's it's going to cost.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I think to me, and I think Jeff even talked about it, where's your worry factor? Where's the worry meter? Is it week 7, week 8, week 10? Going into
Yeah.
next year?
I think you'll know pretty quick.
Yeah, that's
Week
what I'm
5 probably,
saying.
week
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking like, but we've seen him play really good football for 6-7 weeks this year.
Yeah, that's the thing is, if you're skittish about Dak Prescott now, and then he goes into another season, majority of our division games will be on that. Look, this is the craziest way this thing is. Our division games are going to be on the latter part of the season anyway, right? And when you think about our division and the way everything is pretty much orchestrated on how the football is worked, we go into the playoffs at the latter part of the season. If injuries is not a situation for the quarterback, we go into the playoffs because we're going to play to get the team that's in our division. I just look at it that way. That's not me being cocky, but that's just me looking at Dak Prescott overall record versus NFC East teams. It's a way, way above 500 record, right? So I just look at it like no matter what happened, we will be looking at this thing closely and say, okay, all right, 12-5 is the floor for Dak Prescott, regardless, because at the end of the day, he's the guy that's going to get all of the credit when we win, and he's going to get all of the blame when we lose. That's just how it is, right? So being 12-5 for the 2022 season, terrible, right? And especially, it don't matter. You can't lose more than 5 games. He is the only quarterback that's under this scrutiny. And I get it, right? $160 million, that's what they're going to bring up. But I don't think that there's one quarterback that won a Super Bowl after their big payday outside of probably Tom Brady. I just think that that's the situation there. Matthew Stafford was traded, so that didn't count basically because he didn't get paid the money in Detroit land and then all of a sudden won the Super Bowl. He had to get traded. So this is a situation that will always be the conversational piece. Can Dak Prescott overcome his critics? And I believe that that's a real tall task. But 12-5 is the floor now. Smooth Mix Light Skin says they will be 12-5. Yay, again, I see no credit yet. This from Keith Floyd. Yeah. You know how it go, Keith. Come on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden things went south.
I think for me, if we get to week 5, week 6 next year and it's not going well, I start talking with my front office. Is there a trade we can make? Are we in position to draft a guy this year? And if not, then I'm going to keep trying to make it better. And, hey, let's get the running game going for 2023. Is it better? And I would continue trying to make it better around Dak while also constantly having my eye on a chance to trade for a guy. Question number 3. Would not cutting Anthony Brown represent a non-belief in Kelvin Joseph?
Probably, because they're in a spot where there's only a few ways that they can save their monies. And that involves restructures of about 7 different guys, probably 3 or 4 of which you don't want to do. And the clearest one that is, if I released this guy, here's $5 million, That's Anthony Brown. That's where he is. So if they don't release him, you can view it a different way where it's just like, well, they have 4 corners that
we
they
need
think
corner
are very
depth.
capable, and we need lots of them, and $6.5 million actually isn't bad for a starting corner on a second contract. So I could make a case that everything is okay by keeping him because it's just like, look, we need the numbers. But if you get a second-round pick, you want him to start as a rookie. Health didn't let that happen, but you need to be assuming that he's going to start in year 2.
You've seen all the top corners in the draft, Jeff. Do you think you could trade him, or would somebody say, nah, we're just going to draft somebody?
Oh, I think people would draft him. I think it's a pretty good year for corners. I think if
It's a doggone good year for corners. And shout out to 105.3 The Fan. The cornerback room for the 2022, we got Stingley, you got Booth, you got Gardner, you got Roger McCreary, you got Elam, you got McDuffie. You even got Kendricks, Darion Kendricks, and Kobe Bryant that's in this draft. And that's just talking about the cornerback room. We're not talking about the safety class too. So all of those things plays a major role as it relates to that. And I think that sometimes corners are typically drafted before safeties. If they fool around, hear me out, they fool around, let some of these safeties drop. Now, I'm not saying Kyle Hamilton would drop. It's impossible. I think that a team like the Eagles, they got 3 doggone draft picks before us. And the Cowboys can't, hear me out, the Cowboys can't ever get quiet about who they love. And the Eagles watching. Eagles sit there watching. Y'all let me know, don't the Eagles got 3 draft picks before the Cowboys? And we do know that the Eagles would draft in spite. They probably don't even need a certain guy. And they would draft the guy just because the Cowboys whispering. and this all goes back to what Jerry had to say.
I know the frauds that the Philadelphia fan are. But
yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just where it goes. That should be a permanent drop because that is what they do. They would sit there and go, oh, we don't even need a such and such guy. We'll draft him anyway. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Bam, bam, bam. Appreciate you. Appreciate y'all, man, for jumping in. Yeah, I appreciate you. Let's go. Appreciate you too, cool. Let the AI speak.
Law, why do we constantly chop everyone up around Dak? The same narrative is being created with Dak as with Tony Romo. He was the problem.
Ooh. Too cool. I could do a full excerpt on that. I can do a full excerpt on that. I think, oh my gosh, man. Let me fix my screen right quick. The Grim Gamer, he says it right. Dak is part of the problem, but not the whole problem. I get what you're saying. When we talk about Tony Romo and Dak Prescott, similar situations. In their first 6 seasons, both players were 1-3 in the playoff. I can't make this stuff up, right? And when we look at it, for the majority of Dak Prescott's career, yes, he had Jason Garrett. And for pretty much all of Tony Romo's career, he had Jason Garrett outside of the first stomping grounds of Bill Parcells and, of course, Sean Payton. I'm going to tell y'all 100, I still believe if Bill Parcells had the ability to coach Tony Romo through the life of his career, right? like through the whole 14 years, there's a Super Bowl in there. Or even if you had Sean Payton, who went out there and found Tony Romo, there would have been a Super Bowl in there. But the argument is what a lot of people try to base upon both quarterbacks is that they believe that with Jason Garrett and the talent that was around the Dallas Cowboys, that they believe that the Cowboys should have been to the Super Bowl. It's not happening, Cowboy Nation. Strategy counts. You pay the price for comfort. You got to pay for it. You can't wish for comfort. You got to pay for it. And the Cowboys wished for it. They wished that they were going to get a Super Bowl chance and opportunity out of Jason Garrett. And I'm not beating up Jason Garrett because now we have a whole different coach. That we still see some residue that's left here within the same four walls. Law, do you have any truth to that? Yes. Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore. It don't matter, Cowboy Nation, of how much you try to wash out something. Hear me out. Use this example, and it's a nasty one. Sometimes you got to throw the whole thing away. Who out there got kids? Who out there got kids and they had a blowout on their diaper? Stuff everywhere. Fecal matter everywhere. And you would say, man, that's a nice outfit. I want to preserve it. Let me see if I can soak it somewhere in the washroom. No, it's better to just throw it out. You can run it through so many cycles, that fecal matter is still in there. Cut your costs, cut your losses, and just get a whole new outfit. Don't try to hand wash the fabric because it's still in there. Kellen Moore, what do you think we got out of Kellen Moore? Who did he learn from? What was his rudiment? What was his fundamentals? Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan. These are the things that he learned from. This is the trait that we are expecting to bear good fruit. When we've seen the masterful tree, right? The father of the tree produce Scott Linehan. Out of Scott Linehan produced Kellen Moore. And we expecting Kellen Moore to produce good fruit when we can look at the tree where it started, Jason Garrett. Now, Jason Garrett, I'm not saying that Scott Linehan learned purely and understood the game under Jason Garrett, because Scott Linehan was once his own guy, right? But did you guys did your homework and just pull up Scott Linehan's resume? Let's do it. Let's do this homework assignment together. Let's do this homework assignment together then. Let's just do this together, because there will be some people that says, nah, Law, how you spell Scott? You got dog it. Linehan. Come on now. Come on, Law. I put Linehan. Okay. All right, let's go here. All right. Long resume, Detroit, okay. Let me see if I go all the way down. We're going to pull up this tree. Head coach record. Started in 2006. Head coach. Does 8-8 sound very familiar to you guys? With the St. Louis Rams, he was 8-8. In 2007, he was 3-13. And in 2008, he was 0-4. Concluding to his record, can you see that on the screen? He won 11 games, lost 25. .306. Do you see any caliber of winning attitude or mindset out of this guy? He could be the best guy ever. I'm not trying to say, hey, because what he did in St. Louis was all his fault. But if I'm a multi-billionaire, baby, you know what I'm saying? And salary cap, there's no salary cap as it relates to who I hire as the influencer, as the person that's supposed to call the offense for my team. I'm going to go out there and get the best of the best. The creme de la creme. You pay for your comfort. You don't go buy a $3 to $4 million home and say, I don't want the garage. I'll park my car outside. When it's hailing and storming and raining, I don't need it. Bruh, that's hustling backwards, or that's foolish talk. Make sure that the house includes a parking garage so you can pull in the garage when it's raining. You pay for comfort. We had more of a balanced offense with Linehan, but this is from Dre Matic. But you still was not successful. There's nothing on that man's resume that supports that he will be a beneficial factor for the Cowboys as relates to a winning opportunity and a winning mindset. But I get it, right? These coaches, I'm not saying that these coaches are trash. No, they know football. All of these coaches, they got a good scenario within the confines of what they do. Maybe Scott Linehan was a little bit more balanced, right, within his approach. Maybe, just maybe. Maybe, hear me out, Jason Garrett handled the media a whole lot better and presented himself a whole lot better than what we see out of Mike McCarthy. There's strengths and weaknesses in everybody's skill set. But I'm about winning, baby. I'm going to do all what I can do to win the game. Quentin says, make no differences. The quarterback is not the guy or that guy. So what do you do? What do you do when you say, okay, the quarterback is not that guy? Let me raise you on that. What do you do in that process? Do you fiddle-faddle around and cry and get mad at the moment and say, all right, damn, my quarterback is not that guy? Or do you sit there and say, okay, let me get rid of this guy to go find another guy? How would you utilize your resources to do such? Now you're putting your thinking cap on. Newsflash, a third of you guys that's watching, not everybody is born with the silver spoon. So you figure out ways to become better in your craft and building a team around what can make you win. And it goes back to my point here, Quentin. And I'm just trying to educate people the best way possible upon which what I know. If you know for sure that you're 30-0 when you run the ball more than you pass the ball, that's the starting point. So you say to yourself, I know for sure that I can be 30-0 when we do these sets of procedures. How hard would it be to figure out that process to win games? Too Cool says trade number 4 for another number 4. Yes, go out and get Watson for Dak. Okay? So let's say we do that. The salary cap put in measures. And then on top of that, that's a crap shot that you're taking. Because now you're going to take a guy that's going to get beat up and beat down with the media and the four-ladder network and everything else far as the distractions that he will bring to the table. There will be Molly crying. There will be aficionados ready to blow the whistle before he even say down set. It'll be flags to galore. And we've seen what Deshaun Watson did he? Let me see. In 2020? He was healthy the full year. And excuse me, did he win only 4 or 5 games that year? So I get it, right? People want to say to themselves, we want to put in a whole nother quarterback. But if you still have the same plan and no scheme, it will be the same results. And you guys will be looking at it like, God, dog, we done did all of this movement. And shout out to you for the donation, but we did all of this movement to have the same results. You got to bring in a scheme. You got to attack these guys in a different way. You know for sure that you can win 30 games and 0 by running the ball more than you're throwing it. Figure out a way to craft up a plan to do such. That's all I'm saying. What next? Because the same argument could be made, just like you said, with Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. As much as we love Deshaun Watson, for those out there, he ain't on Tony Romo's level. And we had the same similar results. Shout out to you, Mr. Antoine. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for this donation here. Yeah, appreciate you.
What's next? Do we change coaches now? What's the next step? How long do we have with all the talent we have to capitalize in the next 2 years or so?
I feel you. Rams change out their coach. How long did it take them? 5 years, right? 5 years. Did the Rams keep their offensive coordinator that they had with the Fisher? Who was the coach before Sean McVay? Or did they got a whole new staff when they got Sean McVay? Took them 5 years. Yeah, they will and deal, and man, they came very close for that thing to collapse all on them. If a certain ball didn't bounce a certain way, if the aficionados didn't turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to some of those things that happened. It literally took them 5 years with a whole new staffing agency, right? Now, the patient levels of Ram fans and Ram organization and the expectations are a whole lot different than the Dallas Cowboys. Jeff Fisher was the previous coach. Good. Did they keep all of Jeff Fisher's offensive coordinators? Did they keep his staff in place when he was gone? No, they asked him and they said, okay, we bring in Sean McVay, philosophy and system and everything. Cowboy fans, we don't have 5 years. Y'all definitely ain't going to give Mike McCarthy 5 years. Y'all ready for him to get fired now? Y'all ready for him to get fired now? People are already looking at Sean Payton. People are already thinking about Kellen Moore being the head coach. Or Dan Quinn. He thought about skipping town because of the narrative. And Mike McCarthy, according to Mike McCarthy, if he ain't lying to kicking it, that Mike McCarthy had to convince Dan Quinn to stay. Who really want to play? Who really want to coach in this particular society when you have somebody looking over your shoulder? Appreciate you, Keith. The Floyd. Let's go. Yeah.
Last comment on the QB. The only difference between the MVP Aaron Rodgers versus Dak is 1 more win, 6 less interception, home field advantage. Y'all drinking the Kool-Aid, explain that.
Oh, okay. Aaron Rodgers MVP. Dak is 1 more win. Okay. So Aaron Rodgers had 1 more win, 6 less interceptions. Okay. Home field advantage. Yeah. I brought that point up. I brought that point up yesterday, and we can clearly see. We clearly can see that Aaron Rodgers is the better thrower of the ball, right? Come on, man. I ain't finna sit here and say, yeah, man, Dak Prescott throws the ball like Aaron Rodgers, right? And if he do, I got Land on the Moon for sale, and it's half off. You can go ahead and purchase it. Just send 100,000 my way, right? We just witnessed Aaron Rodgers go all the way to the playoff, the first seed. Had the third-ranked defense that's better than the Cowboys, by the way. Also, had Devontae Adams, who one can argue and say, hey, the best wide receiver in the National Football League, right? A running back, Aaron Jones, and some people right now will kick Ezekiel Elliott off this team. Like my guy said in the movie.
This is Sparta!
You know, a lot of people saying, hey, Aaron Jones, boy, he's good. Both sets of running backs, right? Played at home in the frozen, what they call that? What they call that place? I don't think they call it a frozen tundra, but whatever they call it over there in Green Bay land. Cold, in his element, in his backyard. And he threw for an 18 QBR. Ain't nobody saying that he threw for an 18 QBR because that's only a made-up number that ESPN and Skip Bayless and Shay Sharp talk about. Against the same team that the Dallas Cowboys lost to. But somehow Cowboys will look at it and say, okay, well, we lost, we won and done. And nobody mentioning about Aaron Rodgers being one and done. Number 1 seed. Disaster in Big G. Because they're going to bring up, yeah, he got a Super Bowl ring, which was 12 years ago. Appreciate you, Mr. Antoine. Man, appreciate you for the donation here. Appreciate those who support the nation. Appreciate you. Be sure to hit that share button, too. Subscribe to multiple platforms. The AI speak. Come on, speak on it.
Man, I'll go crazy. 5 more years of the same conversation. Sean Payton, what makes him so great anyway? Am I missing something?
Yeah. Because people just don't understand. Even Sean Payton with mighty Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, the two-headed running back. I think the last time he won the Super Bowl was 10 years ago. Was it 11 years ago for him? And that's with Drew Brees, baby. He went 79, 79, 79 with Drew Brees. And nobody, mama, uncle, cousin was talking about, hey, let's get rid of Drew. I feel you. But you know what? If it takes for us to get one of those doggone quarterbacks, let's say we just move on. Let's say we just say, okay, all right. We trade Dak Prescott to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we get Trevor Law, shout out to the Laws. Or we go trade Dak Prescott to the Jets, and we go get, what's his name, Zach Wilson, I believe. If we get any of those 2 quarterbacks and put them in the system, and we go get Sean Payton, and if we go 79, 79, 79, I would take that. I'll take that as long as we stop talking about the doggone quarterback, right? And we can point fingers elsewhere. I'll take it. Let's go with it.
Law, it's like talking to bricks. 49ers showed us how following the blueprint works without a top 10 QB.
My point exactly. My gosh, man. My gosh, man. Oh, my gosh, man. Oh, too cool. Appreciate you as well. Appreciate you for the donation here. Let me see. That was Ilmatic. Appreciate you, man. Come on now with it.
Law Jerry Jones underappreciate us as fans. We are loyal, which is why he remains top 3 in all sport teams grossing money. We can't trade Jerry.
What would y'all give up to trade Jerry? Oh my gosh. No first round draft pick for the next 10 years to get Jerry up out of here. Who would take that deal? No first round draft picks, right? To say, hey man, we would literally give you to the Chargers since you put your bid offer to the San Diego Chargers back in the days. Although they're in LA now and you from that area, we would give you 10 first round draft picks to have Jerry Jones as your GM, and probably owner, right? For the next 10 years. And we would just, now you got to be combo package. Jerry, Charlotte, and John Stephen Jones and Jerry Jr., we'll just say, okay, I get it, man. Hey, we appreciate the 3 Super Bowls. We're very appreciative of those 3 Super Bowls. But if you could take all of the media attention and spotlight and go over there to the LA Chargers / Rams, because you from LA, we would literally, matter of fact, we'll throw in two more first-round picks. We'll give up the first-round pick for the next 12 years if you guys can pick up Jerry Jones. And we'll figure this thing out our own way over here in Cowboys land. Because I believe a third of you guys were Cowboy fans before Jerry Jones bought this team, right? Who would take that deal? Oh, my goodness, man. Mr. Wright says, exactly, Law. So why fans want him? Laughing out loud. People, new face, man, he can identify with, the Cowboys organization. And maybe, just maybe, he will have a more say-so over what Jerry Jones have to say. Because he can say, man, we had a good team and you kind of destroyed it. But let me walk around with this thing. You think Stephen Jones would be a better owner than Jerry? Also, thoughts on drafting a running back mid-round. This is from Sexy Peace. Appreciate you, 88. I don't know if Stephen Jones would be a better owner than Jerry / GM. But I think that Stephen Jones would listen more. I think that he wouldn't meddle with the coaching philosophy as much. I think that Stephen Jones would sit back and listen more. I think that what makes Jerry, for example, and that's a good observation, Sexy Pizza. And I don't know, 88. So what you got, sexy 8 and 8s on your pizza? I need to have. I was gonna say that, but I don't want to get in trouble and say I would like to have a taste. But that's a good marketing name. By the way, people need to come up with different marketing ideas. But everything you just said, I don't think that in 100 years you will hear Stephen Jones say this about anything. Let's listen to this again.
Behind that, there's some hellacious people, and they're good people. And I know it, and they know I know it. And so we have a good time. And I think probably the thing that I get the most kick out of is when one of the fans are really giving it to me. It's wonderful to be able to go. So we have a good time when we go to Philadelphia. You do. I know the frauds that the Philadelphia fan are.
There's no way that we would hear Stephen Jones say that type of comment. I don't think, Stephen Jones may have that moxie a little bit, but I don't think that he talked like that, so trade yourself to another team. This is Noble royalty. No, Noble, no. Folks have 10 fingers, cut off one, they have 9 more to point, right? I feel you, yeah, I feel you with that. Shout out to my guy, Darren Yarber. Appreciate you. Shout out to Vach Lombardi. Appreciate you. If he's in the building, shout out to Vach. Appreciate Vach. Oh, man, come on, man. The man is old, man. Just go away, the Graham gamer. But so that's just what I believe, man, Cowboy Nation. I do believe Jerry hired Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, he did. He did hire Jimmy. He did hire Jimmy, and that was a good thing.
If you're drafting the top
So
40
you
or
can't
50.
you couldn't get a 4 or 5 for a corner that's had some turnover value to himself.
For Kelvin Joseph?
No,
for Anthony Brown.
Brown.
What is his value, I wonder? He's a capable NFL star.
All right, so somebody said that in the mid-round draft for a running back, y'all type in the best running back that's in this draft. Kenneth Walker, yeah, he's pretty good, and Isaiah Spiller. But outside of those two, who is the best running back in this draft? In mid-rounds, would you go and say, all right, James Cook, let me take a real good look at you, because I want to answer that guy's question there. What's up, Uncle Charles? Appreciate you. Shout out to you, Sap. Yeah, Vach is awesome. Shout out to my guy Vach Lombardi. Y'all be sure to check out Vach Lombardi with the party. Hall. Who's better, James Cook or Hall? What's that running back from Notre Dame? Did he commit? Haskin. Hassan Haskin? Let me pull him up. Yeah. So.
Starter that makes $6.5 million, can play slaughter outside. That should be tradable.
Yeah.
It should be.
See, that's what I'm saying. If you want to find a way to maybe get something back, maybe you get a 4 or 5 back for something like that.
817 asks, would you trade Dak for Kyler? If they move on from Dak, I don't want another quarterback who operates between the 12th and 5th best quarterbacks in the NFL. Wow. I'm moving on, and I want a fresh start with either a guy who's already in the top 5 or a drafted guy who has a chance of being a 15-year Hall of Famer for me.
Yeah, it's interesting because I no longer think that's crazy, but I think like if I was at 5th and I thought my guy was the 5th best, I'd probably be like, guys, this is what we're doing. Yeah. Because we could give this up, but if it's not for a proven 30-something-year-old who's just not happy where he is, then the odds of us getting this guy back, it might take us 20 years.
Yeah, you're right about that. You could end up really regretting. If you're locked in as the 5th best, if you're just outside of the modern Rushmore, cool. But if you vacillate between there and outside of the top 10, I just don't know if that's consistent enough.
All right, so who would you guys trade for? Who's the quarterback? That would change everything for the Dallas Cowboys. Who's the quarterback out there? Who is the quarterback? I'm just trying to figure this out, man. Shout out to you, Too Cool for School. Appreciate the donation. Who would you trade for? Or, like I said, would you go out there and get a Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence? I mean, who would you really trade for? Because I'm looking. If Trevor, look, I'm letting everybody pass right now for Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson because it was their rookie year. I'm letting everybody pass. Russell Wilson. Now, realistic trade. No unrealistic like Josh Allen. I'll trade with Pat Mahomes. Realistically, and you got to give up something. It's not like you trade him for free, right? Choctaw says, what? Look, I'm gonna let the AI say this one right here. Come on, AI. Say it.
WTF has Russell Wilson done since 2014?
What have he done? Shout out to you too, School.
Rodgers would kill with this entire team. He would instantly play at least 3 more years like Brady with this current lineup.
Okay. So Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers is the key. Let's see. Let me pull up everything. I'm gonna try my best to pull up everything. What time is this? 12:52. I'm supposed to be gone at 1. But let me see if I can squeeze out some more time. Come on, close all this. Damn thing don't want to close. All right, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can pull this up right quick. I really want to do this. All right. Aaron Rodgers. Because we know what Aaron Rodgers would look like. He had the 3rd overall defense last season. So he had a better defense than what we had last season, right? And we got to understand that we will still have Kellen Moore as our quarterback. I mean, not as our quarterback, but as our offensive coordinator. So it would just be us moving for one more game. For us to win one more game, we would literally, because Aaron Rodgers won one more game than us. So it would be us moving Dak Prescott for Aaron Rodgers, right? Hear me out. And I know. He signed a 4-year, $134 million contract. Let's see what his market value would be. Okay, we're going to pull this up. We're going to look at this together. All right, let me see. I'm trying to build the plane while it's in the air so I can pull up all of this together. That's from last night. Whew. Oh, that's from last night, too. Get that out of there. Get that out of there. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay. Hold on. Y'all bear with me. I love y'all. I know y'all love me, too. I love y'all. You love me, too? Do you love me, too? Do y'all love me, too? Now, show up. There we go. Make sure I got all of this out the way. Yeah, that was dope picture I pulled up last night, right? I said my 8 is better than his 8. Get out the way. All right, so for $46.3 million, he's looking for a 3-year contract, $139 million. So what you're going to have to convince is all of the Green Bay Nation to say, hey, man, you know, your quarterback, you got 17 years of experience. We got a guy that's got 6 years of experience going into his 7th year. Is there a way that we can trade with you for this amount of money? And they said that they based this contract off of his contemporaries based upon these 4 levels of production: Pat Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, as well as Josh Allen. So let's look at this chart. They look at it and they say, okay, percentage-wise, completion percentage. Look at this. This is just raw numbers. I'm not trying to pull any favors or anything and try to showcase who's better and who's worse, right? So when we go to this chat line or this chart line right here, passing per game on a difficult level, we're looking at completion percentage. He throws at 69.36. That's beating all of these quarterbacks, by the way. And when you look at his passing attempts per game, he's right at 33. Dak Prescott right at 38, by the way. So that's good for good old Aaron Rodgers because the average of all is 34. So his numbers are right in the same wheelhouse, pretty much mirroring all of these guys' production. Because people, what they like to do is that they like to say, well, these numbers are not factual, but this is how they produce the market. And your market rate will be your market rate regardless, based upon your level of production. Now, games played, of course, these guys played a more percentage game or what have you, but the average percentage is 89.9, 89.8. So he's right at 96. So that's injury factor, meaning that Aaron Rodgers don't get injured. But his average yards per game is 266. that put him above Josh Allen, that put him above Russell Wilson, that put him below Pat Mahomes and Dak Prescott as an average total. Now, when we look at everything, the median prime change and all of this stuff, what we're looking at basically is that you willingly to pay 46.3 for an older quarterback that's going to be in a different type of system that's going to pretty much produce the same or similar results, regardless of what I'm trying to tell you guys. The numbers are the numbers. Now, to say this to everyone out here, if bringing in Aaron Rodgers quit and keep us from talking about the quarterback week to week, I'm down for it. I'm flat out down for it. I'm flat out down for it. But you got to understand that if you do this now, all of the good stuff that you're talking about doing as it relates to the defensive side, as it relates to renewing contracts, you're going to have to cut that in half because you're going to have to bite the head of the bat off. And bring in this guy. and if you know what, if Dak Prescott only win against scrub teams, well, at least you get a double win against scrub teams because there's Aaron Rodgers. But it's the same. I can't make this stuff up. You're going to get the same levels of this type of production. But as MVP Aaron Rodgers, and you think that and they would think that I pulled these numbers up by mistake. No, I didn't. Because they're the same numbers. But man, it's good. 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Let's go with this. Let's go with the MVPs. Let's go with it. Do we have any rebuttals to that? Lane says Aaron Rodgers isn't playing for money anymore. He wants a ring. Where did you hear that from, C. Wright? Where did you hear that from? Where did you hear that from? So you mean to tell me that Aaron Rodgers would take a $20 million contract deal somewhere to play? You think that Aaron Rodgers will come over here in Dallas to play for $20 million? Pat McAfee show? No. I got land on the moon for sale. I see it when if he's saying that, then why leave? Why leave Green Bay? You got the 3rd overall defense in the National Football League. Why would you leave Green Bay? He grew up in the Bay Area, by the way. If anything, Aaron Rodgers would go to San Francisco and say, hey, I'll pay for peanuts. He grew up a San Francisco fan. Why would he put on silver and blue and go play for the Cowboys, if anything? I know I wouldn't. Aaron Rodgers' sleep number is 4. My point to this right here, Aaron Rodgers hate Dallas. Yeah. Why would he go to Dallas? Why would he be miserable? He coming to Dallas and he hate Dallas. If anything, he would say to himself, dang, I should have been traded to the LA Rams to live and die in LA. If anything, what would be reasonable if he's grumpy and he want to get up out of there in that cold environment, they'll do a swap. Jimmy Garoppolo goes to Green Bay, and A-Rod goes to San Francisco 49ers. But why would the third overall defense and the best quarterback with the MVP couldn't beat the 49ers? And you guys expecting the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, to do such? Can somebody answer me that? You had the MVP of the NFL at home with the third overall defense, with the best wide receiver and one of the best running backs in the National Football League. If he couldn't beat the 49ers, and we expecting the Cowboys to do such with Dak Prescott, why is that? Can somebody make that make sense before I click play audio? Why nobody bringing that up? He was the MVP. Let me repeat this again. I want all of the haters and everybody to understand, I'm just supporting my team. It's nothing to do with Dak Prescott at this point. He's the MVP of the National Football League, third overall defense. Let me pull it up so I can be sure. Let me pull it up. No. Pro Football Focus, Let me pull this up. All right. That thing want to give me all type of hell. Let me go. Right here. Here we go. Dang. I think it's Ezekiel Elliott. Let me pull up Green Bay. And so we all can see. Oh, let's move the goalpost. It was because of the special teams, 31st ranked special team. Third ranked defense. 13-4. 6th ranked offense. And you couldn't beat the 49ers with the third overall defense? Why is that so? What happened? Because I know for sure if the Cowboys had the third overall defense, people would be yelling, man, come on, man. Cowboys third overall defense. Because they held Tony Romo to that degree, right? Oh, it's Dallas. Let me pull up Dallas Cowboys. Let me pull them up right quick. Number 1 offense, 12th ranked defense, 2nd overall in metrics.
What if Sean Payton actually doesn't want to coach the Cowboys? Question number 4 of the questions nobody's asking.
That's fine.
There's a possibility of that, by the way.
TV money's good, and he might enjoy that life.
I would. Let's not say it might not be Sean Payton's decision. It might be Jerry Jones's decision that he doesn't want that. Maybe he's got Dan Quinn in mind. Maybe he's got others. I don't think this is just a surefire lock. You know, as I sit here right now and say that, I think there's it's going to have to be Sean saying it, and it's going to have to be Jerry saying it, and I'm kind of hearing whispers that both are kind of like, yeah, we'll see what happens.
I'd like to take my answer back because my initial thought is it's fine because Dan Quinn.
No. Y'all crazy, man. Y'all keep moving the goalposts. Oh, it's because of the weather. Oh my gosh, man! It's because of the weather, man. Hey, man, shoot! If he fooled around playing inside the stadium, you see, the MVP and the third overall defense would have been a clear Super Bowl because he played inside the dome. The elements. If the elements wasn't there, and I can see somebody right now. If I look. I kid you not, man. If I was the Law Nation of the Green Bay and I was doing the show from week to week, because it's been 12 years, it's been 12 years, right? They could be like, Law, what's your excuse now, for Aaron Rodgers, And I can hear y'all now. If it was like an alternate universe, right? Let's say if Aaron Rodgers played for the Cowboys, like he won the Super Bowl for Green Bay, and somehow alternate universe, and Aaron Rodgers was here, and it was Kellen Moore, and it was the same situation, right? It just a flip around. It's just that we have Aaron Rodgers, and we lose to the 49ers. And I can hear somebody saying, see, Law, you're making excuses. The sunlight through the window. You know, there'll be some guy saying the sunlight through the window. Cedric Wilson would have caught the ball, but the sunlight, and see, Aaron Rodgers was throwing the ball, but see, Aaron Rodgers ain't no Pat Mahomes though. You know, I can hear it right now. Aaron Rodgers, see, once again the Cowboys choke again, because that's been the storyline for Aaron Rodgers for the last 12 years. You guys do understand that, right? That he chokes when he gets to the playoffs. You know, he don't get to the big dance anymore. I can literally hear people saying right now, I can literally hear First Take, Second Take, Undisputed, you know, saying that, was that really Aaron Rodgers who won that Super Bowl in Green Bay? Oh, yeah. Now he going to the Cowboys land. He tarnished that 12. Somebody, I can hear the opening segment, you know what I'm saying? I can literally hear it saying right now, here you go. Undisputed is now saying that Aaron Rodgers should take off that number 12 because he's not clutch enough. He's not. He should never spoil. He's spoiled because he's wearing 12, you know, because he got to give him number 12, right? Aaron Rodgers just can't come over here and play in Dallas with another number. They got to give him number 12. Oh, my gosh, man. Oh, my gosh, man. Oh, my gosh, man. Ah. That's crazy.
Big bro, why has no one mentioned D4K lost his QB trainer to the Jets right before he strained his calf?
I don't think nobody knew that. Yeah. I didn't know that. That's news to me. Yeah. Sexy Pizza says,
if we did draft Dak, where would we be right now?
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. We would have been talking about Paxton Lynch right now, man, if we were to play around with that. I don't know, man. Appreciate your Sexy Pizza. And, face it is from Choctaw, Montana. It took Rodgers 6 years. It took Breeze 7 years. Shall we keep going? I feel you, man. Oh my gosh, man. Good points, good observation there, man. Let me do this one segment before we go. I'm stealing all your time, man, because it's Friday, no work today, and no work on Monday. We got Presidential Day or President Day or something like that. We get all the good holidays off. But happy holidays to all of you guys. Let's listen to these guys, but I got to give a pre-slap to these boys. Give a pre-slap to these boys. Load up my guns. All right, Cowboy Nation, I done stole enough of y'all time today, man. Talking about this, rehashing this thing over and over again with multiple points here. And in closing, as my Uncle Charles would say, this team, regardless of who's under center, regardless of what they do in the draft or free agency, will be scrutinized. The only team that will be scrutinized. I was surprised that Shay Sharp even brought up the fact that Green Bay went 13-3, 13-3, and then 13-4, and still didn't do anything in the playoff, right? One and done type of situation. and their window is closing. And it's pretty much shut because they're going to have to re-up and pony up and pay Aaron Rodgers. And if y'all think that he will play for Pete Kibbles and Bits, let me know when he signed that contract. You know, a lot of people say a lot of things until it's time to sign, right? And a lot of people will say, well, you shouldn't be playing for money and everything. You should be playing for the passion of the game to win a Super Bowl or what have you and go to the team that's loaded like Tom Brady did and say, okay, I'll take $25 million and I'll go to a team and get some free agent guys, which granted that would work in a certain situation. But it crumbled on Tom because their version of AB flipped on him and Chris Godwin got hurt and, of course, the running back was banged up for the majority of the year, so it didn't work for him this season. And now he's retired. The season is long, right? But we can look into that. But to play in Dallas is a whole different circus, and it's a whole different type of way that we got to look into things. Jay Lombardi said especially O-line too, so going back to this draft, I believe you draft from the core on out. You draft an offensive line, you look at it, and then or you draft a defensive line, and then you look at everything else. If you create pressure up front, the quarterback can't go through his progressions, and I believe we got guys that can cover and hit and chase or what have you, but we got to have some relevancy of pressure up front on the defensive side and some type of security blanket on the offensive side. Now, Tyler Biadasz, he's still young. He's going into his pretty much his third year, but technically his second year, right? Connor Williams, I think that saw somebody said that it's still a possibility that you bring Connor Williams back, and we're gonna move some furniture around if that's the case, right? 15 penalties and going through the same rigmarole over and over again is the definition of insanity. You got Terrence Steele, who pretty much developed and became better. So you keep Terrence Steele at right tackle and you kick Lyle Collins inside. And I believe that that's enough cushion to develop this team a little bit better than what we've seen in the previous year. You got Zach Martin at right guard. He's still there. He's off his furniture. He's not going anywhere. The biggest reservation is Tyron Smith, who's been hurt for multiple years. I think that in this particular draft setting, you look at it and say, okay, who is the best left tackle or tackle in this draft, and how can I put my hands on him and get my hands on him? Well, that would be the first-round million-dollar question. Or do you believe in your scouts and say, hey, Josh Ball, it was a red shirt year for him. He was, before the incident that happened with the domestic violence, he was considered a top 100 player as it relates to his skill set. Josh Ball. Do you look into that and say, okay, we got a guy that developed that red-shirted. We got him in the weight room. We got him all together. Do you look at Josh Ball as the future for the replacement of Tyron Smith, you know? Or do you go back into the pool and you say, okay, think about this. Hear me out, Cowboy Nation. Nobody saw Terrence Steele developing the way he did, right? And regardless, we can go back and forth talking about this and that, but on that 6-game winning spree, Terrence Steele was there. And it's not like when you go back and watch the tape, he was playing against chopped liver as it relates to the opposing team. Bosa brother, he wasn't nobody to sneeze at, and I don't think that he laid a finger on the quarterback. On top of that, Terrence Steele didn't give up a single sack when he was playing clearly at the right tackle. Go get Larry Akeem DeSond and set on him, baby. Chef Mac, appreciate you, man. I don't know how you not became the let me see. Here we go. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Chef Mac. Thank you for the donation to help elevate the nation for the $4.99. Just here to support the channel. Cowboy Nation, stand up. Appreciate you. All right, Joey Bosa didn't do anything against Steele. Yeah, you know, so it's not that he's chopped liver or anything. Now, they did try to pivot, and they put Terrence Steele in that doggone against the Raiders game. And was it Max Crosby, whatever his man name is? He folded him up like a wallet or a lawn chair and put him in his back pocket. So Cowboys going to have to fix things out, man. I appreciate everybody. I did the show a whole hour longer than what I expect. But I like my other one. It's a little longer, but yeah, I like this one. Where I can find it at? Come on. There we go. I think it was this one. Yeah. Let me know if y'all can hear that one. Yeah. The destinations of your mind, baby. Shout out to you, Gina. Appreciate you, Nick. Shout out to you, Jay Lombardi. Shout out to you, 44 in the chat. But the opportunity is here, man. I get it, man. Ain't nobody more disappointed in this team than me right now, 12-5. We've been talking about the Cowboys doing this and doing that. Or 12-6, basically. For us not to produce the way we wanted them to do last season. Going through everything left and right. And listening in to what the media says on the Cowboys side, the positive media, right? For us to be one and done, oh my goodness. That's why I said for the 2022 season, the Dallas Cowboys must look into this thing. Let me see some fire emojis in the chat. Let me see the fire emojis in the chat, man, because I believe at the end of the day, come hell and high water, baby. We still support this team. But we just got to fix up a few things. If you look at what the LA Rams done, it's not like they're a million years ahead of us. No. It's not like they're light years ahead of us. No. It's not. I believe we can go toe-to-toe with the Rams. And they just lifted the Lombardi Trophy. Right? Their quarterback never beat ours, right? Head to head if you really want to do that. If you really want to go down that road. We just got to get this thing together. And it's the small pieces, man. It's not the biggest puzzles of everything. No. Just got to reshape our minds and get right back on it. Yeah. Just got to uplift everything, baby. I know we can fall into that negative mindset. And it travels. Negative news travel all the way around the world. It do. Everybody counted us out anyway. Look at what we did against the odds. They said before the season started, I could go back and rewind the tapes, that the Cowboys won't even make it to the playoffs. And then when we started winning, they said before even the Cowboys played last season that Dak Prescott won't even be able to play football ever again in the National Football League. Not just Dak Prescott, but they said that this particular team, when they made it to the playoff, yeah, but now he got to win a playoff game. They keep moving the goalposts. I bet you can't throw 30 touchdowns in the season. I recall when they said that this team won't be able to win on the defensive side. They can't buy a turnover, a takeaway. Now we getting them, and now they're saying it's all luck. You remember that? They are so quick to talk down about this division. But I come here to tell you, and these are facts, and nobody can argue that. It makes my beard grow and my teeth white. That we are the only division that got everybody in this division got a Super Bowl ring. Huh? Every team got a Super Bowl ring. Every single team. We play each other rough and rugged. But they are so quick to discount the Giants, right? They're so quick to discount, dare I say, the Washington Commanders, I meant to say. And the Philadelphia Eagles. They so quick to dismiss those guys. But there's no other team and no other division that got the amount of rings that we got over here. Look, the Cowboys are located in the West, and we got to go all the way to the East to play in our division. That should count for something too. No other team got to do all of that traveling like we do. But I get it. It's the media. It's all politics, political football. Just got to take it one day at a time. One movement at a time. Brick by brick, we stack these things together, Cowboy Nation. We going to be right back on it. And we start winning again, they keep moving the goalposts. And we start losing or something, the end of the world. But I want you guys to pay close attention. Everybody talking about us because they love to have Big D in their minds. The Dallas Cowboys. It's just what it is. Stay focused, Cowboy Nation. When you're up against the struggles, meet it squarely, face to face. Plant your feet, set your shoulders, plant your feet, and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fall, you may conquer. See this thing through, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. We up out. Yep. Flush those commodes, baby.
Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody like me. Phone ring.